أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين. So the question we're dealing with this week is, how can we reduce our attachments? And in Islam, attachments or things that we are attached to, be they wealth or family or any kind of habits or anything like that, attachments are not something that are looked at in a blanket kind of way. It is recognized that attachments are part of life. If you have family, you're going to have family relations. If you have wealth, or if you're at least pursuing wealth, you'll have some kind of attachment to wealth. And if you're a human being, you probably also have some kind of habits as well. So it is not the case that we look at attachments in a blanket way. Attachments are something that are natural, normal, and many times healthy. So, of course, the religion of Islam encourages healthy relationships. So, healthy relationships with family, healthy relationships with wealth, and healthy relationships with the other habits that we might have, or healthy habits, if we want to put it that way. But what is discouraged in Islam is if our attachments stop us from pursuing the truth, or stop us from doing the right thing. In a sense, if in the language that is used in the sources is that if our love of this world, meaning our attachments in this world, is such that it prevents us from our attachment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the love of Allah is opposed to the love of the world. So in this case, and in this sense, it's very important to examine our attachments and look at our attachments and try and understand if a certain attachment we have is out of balance. So when we talk about reducing our attachments, what we're actually talking about is reducing our negative attachments, not all attachments. And that is something that needs monitoring. It needs a kind of insight into. And then, in order to deal with those attachments, we need to have a kind of presence. If we know, for example, that our attachment to wealth is such that it pulls us away from doing the right thing, then in those situations we need to be careful to do the right thing. If we notice that our attachment to wealth, again, is something that distracts us from our prayers or something like that, then we need to strengthen our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala such that His love overcomes the love of that negative attachment. So we reduce our negative attachments by attaching ourselves stronger to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is almost like a tug of war. On the one hand, you have your negative attachments, or your attachments to the world, and on the other hand, you have your attachment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what we need to do is we need to do all of those things that will increase the pull on the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Things such as self-purification. Things such as taking advantage of the spiritual months that we're in order to increase our spirituality and increase our love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Things like increasing our knowledge. Things like having the right group of friends. All of these things enable us to put our attachments in the right place. And if you like, one of the major characteristics that we have to inculcate within ourselves is wisdom. Wisdom to know what are the correct attachments, wisdom to know when to reduce our attachments, when we need to pull back from certain attachments, and so on and so forth. So this is in answer to how to reduce our attachments. You reduce your attachments in a variety of ways, but perhaps the most important thing is to be aware and to deal with those attachments by being aware of them, and to step by step reduce the negative aspect of that relationship and increase the healthy aspect of that relationship. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين.